Okay. Well, let's get into some fucking drama because apparently this is my calling and politics and drama and I can't escape it and it's all over the world and I'm getting fucking tired of looking at it, not saying anything. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about some shit real quick. Let's see. This button. I'm not leaking anything doing this, right? Yeah, this button. For starters, John Cena now follows me. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. That caught me off guard this morning. I was like, oh, let me look at my Twitter notifications. John Cena, what? So that's kind of cool. I'll take that one for sure. Hell yeah, that's sick. Okay. Aside from this, something big kind of went down the last 2 days. And I've been very vocal about it on Twitter. Kris Tyson, right? Kris Tyson, a lot of information came out about some things that they had done in the past in a pedophilic manner, right? I don't need to go over every single little detail about what has happened. I'm just going to more so talk about the response to it because the response to it is kind of a load of jack dog fucking shit water, right? It's terrible. Absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible response. So their first response to this is this. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and my mental health. So here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? I'm going to pick it apart sentence by sentence. Why this is literally the biggest load of bullshit and why it took a day of delay to get out. I'd like to apologize for any past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. There's two big things here. One, apologize for past behavior or comments. Any of past behavior or comments, not specific things, just anything, just a broad term, right? Apologizing for things done in the past so far in the future, not directly after doing so, right? This is a cop out. This is a I'm trying to cover my ass move, right? Just immediately. We all know it. We all seen it. Every single apology video on YouTube, on the internet as a whole. This is entirely just I'm trying to save face. Second part that is a problem. If it hurt or offended anyone. So broadly apologizing just in case it was a problem. We know now from the, some people call them receipts. I say proof. The proof and the fact of the matter is that they did a lot of pedophilic actions. If they hurt or offended anybody, it's not a if, it's a how. It's a how. It's a when and a why and a how. It's not a if. So not owning up to anything, right? Not your intent now, right? Now it's not your intent because you're trying to cover your ass. I feel like I should probably make this a little bit bigger. Not your intent now because you were trying to cover your ass. Back then it was your intent. That's why you posted things. That's why you did things. That's how people work. There's this weird thing going around nowadays of, humans don't have, their conscious doesn't control their actions. It justifies their conscious and we just do things unconsciously and our brain deciphers it. No. That is not how we work. I don't care what kind of science you want to spew, what kind of bullshit we want to talk about. If you do something, it's because you meant to do it. And if you're going to apologize for doing it afterwards, that's because you realize the error of your ways. There's nothing about that other than that. Like, that is just how humanity works. You don't just do something and not mean to. That is not at all how people work. Not your intent is another cop-out. We're two cop-outs and a not taking responsibility now, right? Next sentence. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. We're going to piece this one apart as well. Seeing recent events, right? Oh, being called out. You haven't seen any recent events. You got called out. We've mutually decided. Okay. I'll say right now, there is nothing mutual about this. There's not a single thing mutual about this. I guarantee, Mr. Beast or some HR department team on Mr. Beast's end popped Kris Tyson off the team immediately. The second that shit came out, gone. Because you cannot, as Mr. Beast, the biggest pretty much YouTube channel ever, have a pedophile on your channel around a bunch of kids, which is the purpose of the channel, is to entertain kids. There's a lot of kids in those challenges. They've been nominated for the Nickelodeon Kids Choice, all this shit. The amount of outreach this horrendous person has had on children is insane. Absolutely insane. The fact that a pedophile has had that much outreach to children, that much close proximity to that many children from all across the globe is grotesque, right? There's nothing mutual about this. This was entirely just decided maybe before Kris even figured out all this shit was going down. They got teams for this. They have people constantly monitoring Twitter. I guarantee that Kris got popped off the Mr. Beast team before ever knowing about this shit themselves. Guarantee it. It's best permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media. That's very good. That's very good. Honestly, we'll get to this in a minute, but I'm surprised their account hasn't already been banned and erased off of X and the entire internet as a whole. But we'll get to that in a minute. To focus on my family and mental health. So here's my issue with that last part of that statement. Which we can also get to in a little bit as well. Family and mental health. So they had posted a picture. I don't want to go find it because it's just disgusting. I don't even want to display it on my stream. Of their kid, their Kris's, I believe, son, right? Yeah, son. Kris's son in heels, not like their parents' heels, but like actual heels bought for their son. As well as various other pictures depicting their son in like what would be considered a more flamboyant outfit for men or for children even, right? I mean, just there's no unnecessary, completely unnecessary. First of all, as someone who's had fucked up feet and is very knowledgeable on feet and leg and biomechanics, heels are really fucking terrible for you, and wearing them often at all as a kid, your feet are fucked forever. Good luck. You won't be able to run or walk properly for a long time afterwards, right? So hopefully it's not an often occurrence, just for their safety, for their feet, because it's actually like the worst thing for your feet. Second thing, just the fact that they're like, oh, I got to focus on my family and mental health. You were focusing on your mental health by splitting up your family and becoming a woman. That was you focusing on your mental health. You still need to focus more. I thought we got through that. Second thing about the mental health is like, I don't see how this affects your family or mental health at all. Everyone knew. They must have known. You knew. There's nothing about your family or mental health there is to focus on. Honestly, I feel genuine fear for Kris's son being in the situation that he is around a fucking pedophile who also thinks that they're a woman, who has mental health issues, self-proclaimed. That just seems dangerous. It seems like not a good situation to be in. And the legitimate mother of said son seems to be on Kris's side. That's a scary family dynamic. So there's genuine fear for that child, because I don't believe that is a safe space to be. Overall, this is a massive, massive cop-out message. Massive cop-out message. Permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast's social media. I think with the proof that has gone out, this person should be banned off the fucking internet. I mean, and here's the thing. Here's the deal. Dr. Disrespect also got called out for pedophilia and was canceled across like everything, right? There's been no actual proof provided publicly. Just a bunch of partnerships and companies ceasing contact with Dr. Disrespect after the news was broke, and Dr. Disrespect saying yes, he had communicated with that person, never admitting that it was sexual, right? From my knowledge of what had happened in that whole situation, something new might have come up in the last week or so, because I haven't really checked up on it in the last 6 days, because I try to keep decent tabs on some of the creators that I enjoy a little bit more. Canceled across the board instantaneously. It was a 1-day delay for Kris Tyson to even make a statement, and everyone's kept this under, like, no one's talked about it. Mr. Beast hasn't said anything publicly as of the time of this recording. I mean, what the hell? Right? Are we playing sides now? Are we playing sides? Because you know why it's happening, right? Because there's two differences between what happened with Dr. Disrespect and what happened with Kris Tyson. Difference one, there's proof on Kris Tyson publicly. There's not proof publicly on Dr. Disrespect from my knowledge. And even if there was, it was from my knowledge as well. One instance in one conversation with one person. Kris Tyson has many, many instances. Many commissions from a child pornography artist, Shadman. Man, at least 2 people that they had talked to in a sexual way, underage, right? We know at least basically 3 separate things that they had done and we have proof of. The second thing that was different is that Kris Tyson is transsexual or transgender, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And Dr. Disrespect was, from our knowledge, straight, right? Everyone, when Kris Tyson came out as trans, was super supportive. And now that they came out as a pedophile, they're seemingly also super supportive. And we're about to see some of the messages from big creators. Because it's just gross. They want to say that they want to add, they've never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations at Lava GS has vocally supported that they are false, because of course, who wouldn't try to defend their favorite multi-millionaire creator that fucks them or talks to them sexually? Like, who wouldn't defend that? You're getting paid. You probably get money's probably involved there. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I've hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these 2 factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I've learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why I have stepped away. And here's the thing. Not owning up to anything, just general apologies. Old humor not acceptable, cannot change who I was, but continue working myself. So you're not owning up to anything in particular. You're just saying, I'll work on myself. The government does that shit with like, oh, I'll look into things. I'll find the root causes of this or that. That's exactly this. I'll work on myself. Good for you. To lump these 2 factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting, didn't happen. We have proof, not of bad, edgy jokes, but of sexual contact. Not physical, but at least via text and verbal with minors. As well as actual, just straight up owning art and direct contact with a child pornography artist. A child pornography artist that drew child pornography of Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter and supported it. Gross. It's gross. It is 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 gross. It's all a lie. It's all a cop-out. It's all fucking bullshit. It's a PR move, and it's a failed one. If you really look at it and piece it apart, it's a failed PR move, because all you're doing is deflecting and not taking responsibility for anything. I mean, you should be on your knees groveling. To not, I mean, in olden times, if you were caught doing the things you did, like, you know, back in the day, you'd be on your knees groveling not to be executed. You should be happy that you'd be getting canceled and not arrested. You should be arrested. The shit that you've done, you should be going to jail. You should be being held at a trial. Like that really is what should be happening to this person. But here's some big creator remarks on what happened so far. Some of these people I have unfollowed today, which surprised me, right? Starting with Valkyrie. This was a decent response, but the first response, I believe it was the first or second response that she had, went a little bit more, not so much in depth, but a little bit more like neutrality. And I did not like it. Here, we can actually pull it up right now. Let's do this. Eight hours ago, post this. This one, her first one. Still in the process of moving, so I haven't been able to fully keep up. But in the meantime, since I've been tagged a bunch, pedophiles equals bad, trans does not equal pedo. The actions of one trans person does not mean all sucks to see many anti-trans people act as if it does. I'm hoping Ava speaks up. Dr. D is still gross. Lastly, to the incels that only tagged Pokey and I to speak up, even though everybody did after D did himself. Your weird focus, your hate towards the pedos fronts. So, knows initially that Kris Tyson was being called out and with proofs as a pedophile, right? Not able to fully keep up, but knows because pedophiles equals bad, right? They know, and trans does not equal pedo. They know. The actions of one trans person does not mean all sucks to see so many anti-trans people act as if it does. We can get into in a minute. Hoping they speak up. Dr. Disrespect is still gross and keeps laying into Dr. Disrespect and focus your hate towards the pedos. But doesn't actively focus any hate towards the pedos until 3 hours later. Until 3 hours later, responding to this response, calling it disappointing and disgusting, which, yay, good. But compared to their response to Dr. Disrespect, this is nothing. They're disappointed. They're disappointed. They were canceling Dr. Disrespect. They were disappointed in Kris Tyson. Right? So, I wasn't expecting this morning to be unfollowing a bunch of big creators like this, but Valkyrie got unfollowed this morning by me because actually, how can you lay into someone that doesn't have any actual publicized proof and then just be mildly disappointed in somebody else for the same thing? You're not advocating for them to be off the platform. Nothing, not a thing. The hypocrisy is insane. And we know why. We know why. Because if they spoke up too much about it, they would lose sponsorships. Because they are sponsored by a lot of companies that tend to stick very closely to transgender and transsexual people. And if you ridicule someone who is like that, whether it's for that or for another thing like pedophilia, it looks bad. And you lose sponsorships. And you lose partnerships, right? I mean, this is why almost everybody's not talking about it super extensively as big creators, because the media is so driven by that that specific side, you could say, that what some people would say the left, right? The media is so driven by the left that it is very problematic to speak up against anybody who's on that side. But Dr. Disrespect, who had been relatively more what you would consider right side, easy cancel, right? Because he doesn't agree with us, right? So Valkyrie, just total hypocrisy here. XQC, on the other hand, did a very good one. I follow mostly only influential creators here, yet most have been silent about the Kris Tyson situation. Pretty deviant behavior across the board. Weirdo. Can't wait to read some of the cope justifications on why it wasn't addressed. By the way, next time I'm adding the whole squad, stop hiding behind the noise. So he's calling people out. He's like, hey, I will at you all. Stop hiding away. Say something, right? Which is good. Good on him. He's calling out a bunch of the bullshit. Los Polos TV. I have no idea who this person is. But I agree with his sentiment. Please, CPS, do something, save this child. I also agree. I fear for this child's safety too. Kid in heels. We found the image. Whatever. I was never gonna fucking escape it. It's here. Kid in heels. Talking about posted some fire nudes for Lava GS. Text messages with a 14-year-old. And a CPS link, basically. So they're really calling it out, showing some of the receipts here. Pokemon's another one I unfollowed, and here's why. I don't know all the details regarding the Ava situation, but I want to make it clear any inappropriate behavior towards minors is unacceptable, regardless of who you are. It's a shame that people will see this as an opportunity to attack the trans community as a whole. One person's actions does not reflect on every single trans person, so please don't view it that way. And yet, when it was Dr. Disrespect, all men were pedos. And yet, when it was Dr. Disrespect, Dr. Disrespect was getting flamed by everybody. But again, it's mild disappointment, and don't be mean to trans people, right? Again, the hypocrisy showing in full force. I do not follow hypocritical people. I follow people who speak the truth, even if their truth is different in opinion than my truth. I talk to people and follow people who speak the truth and are not hypocritical. And this is hypocrisy. So I unfollow people because I can't deal with it. Exactly the same situation with, I had my timeline blow up with like a lot of YouTubers, especially, that were like, damn, they missed Trump. They didn't kill him. Shoot him again, right? I unfollowed every single person on my timeline that popped up that was saying those things. Because how could you advocate for the killing of somebody? How could you advocate for that? That's insane. You have no morals. You have absolutely no morals if you're advocating for the assassination for somebody. And you have no morals if you're going to try to cancel one person but not another for the exact same thing, especially when the one you're not trying to cancel, actually there's proof of their bullshit. Tristan Tate. This isn't beyond fixing Mr. Beast. Denounce your friend's actions and axe him from the channel. Public statement. This isn't necessarily your fault. You shouldn't suffer for the perversions and sins of other people. This is prior to Chris's statement. But the sentiment still stands. I mean, this had enough outreach that even the Tates spoke up, right? They're a little bit beyond some of this shit, you'd think. But no, they spoke up on it. And yeah, no, I mean, it's pedophilia. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? We need more people hating on it. We need more people saying, get the fuck out of here. Cancel them. Get them out. Right? And yet we're getting people like this who are like, I'm disappointed. You should be disgusted. You should be appalled. You should be horrified. It's gross. It's gross. Sneeko, also, why are all the Dr. Disrespect haters silent when transgender Kris Tyson gets accused of messaging children? And that really is the situation. Like, the situation is, oh, Kris Tyson's a pedophile, cancel him, get him off the internet, go, be gone, bye. The drama is everyone being silent about it when they weren't with other people who didn't even have like fully publicized proofs about things. We can assume that these things are true, which is why they are getting canceled for it. But for the actual people with actual proofs, we're being quiet. We're being almost contempt in the fact that they were doing that. And then we're trying to defend the transgender community. Why do they need defended from allegations like that. And so here's my thing. And cancel me, right? But I live in Washington State. I've been to Seattle. I've seen the parades. I've seen videos of the parades that happened a couple months ago in San Francisco. The one where you had to have a child under the age of, it was 12 or 13 with you to enter the parade. A parade full of LGBTQ community people dancing around damn near butt fucking naked in front of children. Some fully naked with their dicks out or their tits out, right? I'm not going to hide the words. I'm just going to say it as it is. We have groups of people dancing around naked in front of kids, and our enforcement saying it's okay. Straight up, no one there got arrested because it was fine. And the police oversaw it to make sure no one else retaliated against it. You know, a bystander, like, what the fuck, right? To keep them in check. Because the adults dancing around naked in front of kids is not illegal unless they masturbate in front of them. I'm sorry, when I was younger, from the time I turned 13, I had to be aware of not getting a public nudity charge and going to juvie for having my fucking shirt off in a store. Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? The way the world has devolved so that pedophilia is basically fucking allowed and damn near celebrated as long as it's tied to your sexual preference. From the time I was 13 to the time I am now 19 years old is insane. Absolutely abhorrent behavior across the board. Again, back in the day, you'd have to be groveling on your hands and knees to not get executed, to not get your head put in the guillotine and chopped off for the pedophilia. I mean, you don't touch kids. You don't fucking dance naked in front of kids. But when it's Dr. Disrespect, who is like more traditional, boo, get him out of here. But if it's a trans person, it's fine. It makes no sense. The hypocrisy is fucking gross and insane. I'm curious to see where this drama goes from here. Because genuinely, like, if people keep kind of not doing anything, is somewhat even defending Kris Tyson, that's really gonna showcase how a lot of people believe and a lot of people act, and it's really gonna reflect on the moral standpoints of a lot of people. Absolutely disgusting. It's so gross. How have we gotten to the point where we've let a pedophile around this many kids? That's going to be it for this one. Thank you for watching. This is my first video going over drama online. Tell me if you like it or not, because I think I'm going to start doing them a little bit more, because it's like, actually, I'm tired of not talking about it. And it's also content. You know, it's pretty easy content, but I'm tired of not talking about it. I mean, this is gross. This shit should be condemned from fucking day one, and it just hasn't been. And I can't stand by idly anymore. Like, I've grown up. My family and friends have all told me to be a politician. I talk real well, and I'm very, you know, decisive. And I always said no, but at this point, I'm saying, yeah. You know what? At this point, I can't not, because this is too far for people not to be talking about it. But thank you for watching. You can catch these live at twitch.tv/Cashy Swanson, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully not about pedophile bullshit, because I can't even fucking fathom